What's going on, y'all? My name is Joltage, and today I'm bringing you my week 6 of LPL. This time against KSG, who is veteran LCer, all around cool dude, and manager of the group called Ghastlies. So yeah, he's also probably my toughest competition in terms of LCU opponents so far, from what I've seen. So heading into this game, I felt like if anyone was going to be able to beat me this season, it would probably be him. Now, before we get actually into the game, you know the drill, we're going to take a quick look at the team, so let's do that. Alrighty, here is the team, and this week I honestly was kind of busy a lot, didn't prep nearly as much as I would have liked to, but I wanted to try and use some mons that I hadn't or use some things that I hadn't shown any inkling of using before, including Axu, as well as Budu over here, and just the rest of the mons are just stuff I think is good. Generally, I've been finding Natu is just fitting into a lot of my builds lately. It's a great Krogunk check, particularly, and just, it's just a good Pokemon to have. I really am liking Natu right now. But to go through the team in specific, so we've got the star of the show, Axu. We've got Life Orb, Adamant, Axu, SD, First Impression, Outrage, Superpower. Cottony is good, but isn't, like, something you can't get past ever, so I didn't feel the need to run like a P-Jab or anything here. Superpower is just for steel types, aka Qfint, but like +2 Adamant, Life Orb, Outrage is OHKOing all kinds of stuff. I think it even gets Slowpoke. I didn't actually make that calc, but it takes down Shellos. It's gonna take down Hippo, so that was the idea. In hindsight, I think SD was not the right move. I think DD would have been better, and it definitely would have been better in how the game turned out. And I think that SD just, like, no one's running fat. I don't need that extra breaking power. People are running offense. I think my main idea in not wanting to do DD is worries about Meowth just kind of being able to shut that down. But I don't know, man. I think DD is definitely generally better, because you want to be good against offense, because no one's running fat is the main deal. Even I'm not running fat, really. I run a lot of bulky offense, of course, but yeah. But I think Axu's pretty good right now. I went Adamant over Jelly just because power, and there's not a whole lot I think that being at 16 is really getting you. I wanted as powerful a first impression as possible. Next up, we got Qfint. Qfint, as I've said, is my favorite rocker. We've got Iron Head, obligatory stab. We've got Zen, just good move. Good psychic psychic attacks are extremely good in LC UU at the moment, just because the amount of poison types we have, with the fact that Pancham's such a good mon. Yeah, you can't psychic is excellent coverage. Is an excellent coverage option for mons like Qfint. And then we went Power Whip as the third move. This is pretty much my just standard set, as you've seen. For my offense rocking Qfint, we go Power Whip here just to dent things like Hippo, dent things like Shellos, stuff like that. Sandshrew, things of that nature. Next up, we got Budu. I figured, actually might appreciate some Spike support. I've shown no inkling of running Budu, always opting for Oddish if I'm gonna run the grass poison type. So I wanted to give Budu a shot here. I ran it 15 speed, which is gonna outspeed all of the stuff I like to put at 14. Your Sandshrews, your Qfints, Panchams. I don't ever go to 15 on them, so this Budu would outspeed at least all of my stuff, and Qfint and Sandshrew can't even go to 15. So, but like Pancham can, Krogunk can, certain things can. But anyway, we got Spikes and Sleep Powder, just because Spikes is cool, Sleep Powder is obviously great. The idea being Spikes could help out the boy Axew just like get any chip damage it needs in case that it's not able to get up an SD, and then Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, obligatory stab. You know, but you pretty standard stuff. Next up, we've got Frillish, standard thing. I decided to go Shadow Ball over Hex here, just because I didn't want to, you know, in the case of running into a Pony G, I didn't want to spend the extra turn having to Willow it before I can Hex it for actual decent damage. I just wanted the immediate power that Shadow Ball provides. Otherwise, standard set on Frillish. Next up, we got Sandshrew. Again, you've seen this thing how many times by this point? You should know what it does. We got Rock Tomb as the 4th move this time over SD. Because Rock Tomb specifically because I had a feeling I was getting Jolticked, and with Rock Tomb, Sandshrew can win the 1v1. I think. Yeah, and with Rock Tomb, Sandshrew should be able to win the 1v1 or at least scare the shit out of him. At least from full. So that's the reasoning for that. Plus, you know, if he's running, in case of him running anything faster than Axew's 15 speed, you know, we could slow that down so Axew could get off a full power outrage and not have to rely on first impression or something like that. You know, just the idea we had there. And then last but not least, we've got Natu. I already talked about Natu finding its way into a lot of my builds. Just think it's really good. I like its fast defensive set that I've shown here. Psychic Heat Wave, Roost, U-Turn. I'm pretty much never going to be running any other moves. I've considered running Shadow Ball before over U-Turn. You know, hits everything you need to, but I don't think Air Slash or anything is useful on EVO Natu. I think this is Natu. If it's not Natu's best set, it's my favorite set of Natu, and that's pretty much what I'm gonna run. Anyway, now that that's done, let's get back to the battle. Alright, back to the battle, and as we can see from team preview, my matchup's not stellar. He's got a Cottony, which, you know, hard stop to, which, you know, will put a stop to my Axew. He's got the Natu plus Qfint, which is pretty much makes Budew useless, as well as Joltik, who I very much had a feeling I was gonna see here. And then he's got a Goldeen, which is one of my favorite Pokemon to use. He actually has a fairly me-looking team in terms of I like using all of those mons for sure. Yeah, some of the sets are not stuff that I would like to, or not stuff that I prefer to run, but you know, very me-looking team. I don't like my matchup. I do think Axew can do some work if we can get rid of Cottony. You know, it just has the tools to do the job here. But you know, it'll be tough. I'm not super into the matchup at first. Specifically, I don't really know what to lead here, because he could lead any of Goldeen, Joltik, Natu, Sandshrew, even Qfint. Like, honestly, the only thing I don't really expect him to lead is the Cottony. I decide ultimately to go with Sandshrew just because, like I said, it could win the 1v1 versus Joltik with the Rock Tomb. At least that's what I was thinking. And the only thing that I'm really, really afraid of in that situation is the Goldeen, who I can go out to Budew or Frillish on the assumed knockoff / flip turn. But yeah, anyway. So he's going to lead off with his Natu. I see this as a general win for me. I get to fire off a free knockoff as he goes out to his Cottony. Great to remove that thing's Eviolite. We need this thing worn away ASAP to set up for our Axew. I decide to, rather than go Budew, because Budew will be good for Goldeen, whereas Qfint doesn't really have a positive matchup on anything other than Cottony. You know, assuming Heat Wave, it doesn't hit Joltik particularly hard. Yeah, it doesn't have a stellar matchup versus anything but Cottony. I decided that it was a freer switch in to begin with. So we go into that. I lose my Eviolite here. I'm gonna go for the Iron Head. Just don't want to play games. I thought about power whipping there, to just kind of be stunt a little bit, but I figured Iron Head was fine because Iron Head into Power Whip kills Sandshrew kills this Sandshrew for sure. Iron Head did 9 damage. This is a 23 HP Sandshrew with 16 bulk according to the calc. So this next turn I'm gonna make a slightly aggressive play and go for the Power Whip. Not expecting, both banking on the fact that he's either not going to be 14 speed, or if he is, he's not going to go right for the Earthquake. He's going to go for like a knockoff, predicting like my Budyu or something, or perhaps a Rapid Spin. And I get the play right, but I missed the Power Whip, which really sets me back in this game. Sandshrew is now very threatening. He can go for a really free Earthquake and take out my Qfin at this point. And if I had hit the Power Whip, Sandshrew would have died, and I would have been obviously in a much better position. Instead, I go out to my Frillish on the EQ, not wanting to switch in Budyu because Budyu is not very strong here. Can't go to Natu on the EQ because Natu will get outsped, and Natu would probably live on 14 defense, but you know, I decided I might need that for later, so I just end up having to sack my Frillish because the Sandshrew didn't die to the Power Whip on turn 4 there. It's unfortunate. Frillish could have been useful to me in this game, obviously, but yeah, the crit EQ didn't really matter because Frillish dies to EQ plus knockoff the vast majority of the time, but yeah. Now I decide to go out to Budyu because Budyu is going to live any one hit. As he goes Natu, I just go for the Giga Drain. Giga Drain does a lot to the Natu, but I don't want to stay in, obviously. He goes for the Air Slash and reveals to be Life Orb Natu, gets a crit and takes out my Natu. I think the crit definitely mattered there, which was another unfortunate one there, but that probably didn't ultimately matter. I get, other than me getting a little bit more Life Orb damage, Life Orb chip on the Natu, because assuming he has the Sucker Punch. Otherwise I could like Speed Tie, win, and go out and sack something to whatever, but I assume he has Sucker Punch there, so that crit didn't really matter either. But was just kind of an unfortunate series of plays, unfortunate series of turns for me luck-wise. Though the really consequential one that got me into the position was obviously the Power Whip miss. Luckily, Giga Drain did enough to where Giga Drain plus the Life Orb, actually it was just Giga Drain. Giga Drain did enough to where my Life Orb Axew was able to take him out with the first impression. I do go for that there. Axew still pretty threatening to his team. He goes Cottony. Like I said, don't have P-Jab. Just going to go out to Budyu, who's going to eat the knockoff. There's an argument to be made that I should have gone Qfin there rather than Budyu that time. And I think that's a pretty decent one. From there, though, he would have probably gone, but I don't, and not lose my Eviolite, but I'm not sure. That changes the next set of plays kind of significantly, as he likely goes Joltik on my Iron Head there, as he also goes Joltik here as I go for the Sleep Powder, knowing he's not going to stay in. I expected the Qfin there. But he decides to Sleep Powder his Joltik, which was a good play on his part. Obviously, my Budyu can't really touch Qfin, but yeah. But if I go Qfin on the Cottony knockoff on turn 10, I fire off an Iron Head. It doesn't do a whole lot to the Joltik, and I'm not really in an excellent position from there either. So I think it worked out sort of okay. We got Joltik slept. Joltik is annoying for pretty much every team, so I'm not too upset about that. Here I know he's going to go to the I make the gamble that he's going to go to the Qfin. Either way, he has a turn of sleep that he needs to burn. And I go Sandshrew. I reveal the Rock Tomb in case he tried to get cheeky, and plus it's going to be doing the most damage possible to Cottony as that comes in. And we're slowly wearing it down, which is great. I'm going to go back out to my Budyu on the Giga Drain here, and then I'm gonna again make the double out to my Sandshrew on the Qfin, and I think this time I'm just gonna go for the Earthquake, and I do catch his Sandshrew, and I either win a Speed Tie or outright outspeed, and I'm able to take it out with another Earthquake. There he goes Goldeen, and here I decide to stay in, hoping that he's not Waterfall and is just Flip Turn, and he Flip Turns out to something that I can hit with an EQ. But he turns out to be Waterfall, so my Sandshrew takes too much damage there. I think that was a bit of a misplay there. I should probably gone to Budew, but this is another. This is why I think that I probably maybe should have gone Budew way back on turn 10, because if Budew had its Eviolite, it would have been able to, could have possibly taken on this Goldeen better. Though Qfint pretty much does just hard wall to Budew, so it's kind of a wash. That turn 18 though was not a great play for me. I probably should have just gone Budew outright, but I was kind of not. I didn't want to get flip turned on just from the jump, and if he just went for the flip turn the first turn, obviously my Sandshrew lives, and I could pretty much just 2-hit KO the Cottony, though I would more than likely make the Budew play at that point. Regardless, he goes for the Waterfall again as I go to Budew. It does 29, and he reveals to be both Waterfall and Flip Turn. I don't think I've run Goldeen yet in LPL, but I tend to just go for Flip Turn, drop Waterfall, and run Toxic as my fourth move with Knockoff and Drill Run. Just for SwSh, I think I'm beginning to think I'm probably just too paranoid about SwSh. No one's running it. It literally has like 3 uses the entire season, but it's still good. I just like no one's running it, so I'm probably just being too paranoid about it at this point. But I do still like it for that reason. Anyway, he goes out to his Qfint. My Giga Drain does 20%, which is a decent amount. He reveals to be Scarf Qfint, as like I said, my Budew outspeeds Qfint's max speed, so he reveals to be Scarf Qfint, which is definitely unfortunate. Like I said, Sandshrew is too low to deal with it now, but I can go out to my own Qfint and try to threaten stuff. I just go for the Iron Head. Like I said, doesn't do a whole lot to Joltik. Here I'm going to make the play and go Sandshrew on Joltik's guaranteed sleep turn, as he hasn't burned one of those yet, and go for the Rock Tomb as he goes Cottony, and I'm going to be able to 2-hit KO the Cottony here with the Rock Tomb. He goes for the Encore, which is a fine play. Allows me to not get off my strongest hit possible on anything else, but I'm just going to sack my Sandshrew to the Goldeen's Waterfall there, and head out to my Qfint as he flip turns out of me, as I go for the Power Whip in case he wanted to try to Drill Run, in case he tried to pick up the kill with Drill Run, which may have worked. It probably did kill, actually. He might not even have Drill Run if he didn't go for it there. But, yeah, he goes out to his Joltik. My Power Whip doesn't do a whole lot. I decided to go for the Zen here as he goes back to his Goldeen. Not really sure why he went back to the Goldeen there, but Zen's not able to take it out. He is able to take me out with his Waterfall. Now here, remember how I said that DD would have been better this game? Yeah, so if I DD here, I don't think his Goldeen has anything that can take me out unless it's random Ice Beam, which is possible, but mixed Ice Beam would be weird. So assuming his best move is like Knockoff, it does. I actually don't know how much damage. I will check that right now. Why not, right? Alright, so we've got Axew. We are Life Orb. Boom. We are 13 defense, just because, you know, I decided, because I value defense more than def, and I had 36 EVs to use. Alright, we got Goldeen. Yeah, we'll just call it max attack. It's not. Yeah, alright, so Knockoff does no more than 10 damage to me. If I DD here, I'm outspeeding everything, including his Scarf Qfint. Right? So I'm outspeeding everything, including his Scarf Qfint. I can superpower that, and Joltik's low enough to where Outrage is going to kill that. So, yeah. I mean, okay, so Yeah, because... Oh, well, actually, so I would have to DD here, and I'd have to... I probably can't lock myself into super... I can't lock myself into outrage to take out the Goldeen, so I have to go for the superpower to take that out. So I'm at neutral and +1, okay? So I'm pretty sure neutral superpower probably takes out Hufin, though I assume I lose my life orb. So let's check. My main point is I think I could have won, but I didn't actually check. So let's see here. All right, so okay, so I would have had a shot, but it's not looking great actually. Oh wait, no, that's Eviolite, so it's Choice Scarfed. Alright, so yeah, okay, so I take that out. So then I just need to know if +1, if -1 Outrage takes out Joltik. And it might. It was at 50%, so he's probably 22 HP. Yeah, no, it should have. Yeah, so I should have won the game. If I was DD, I more than likely win the game. But I'm not. I'm SD, so I can't SD. So I can't outspeed the Qfin, so I can't win. So I just decided to go for the first impression, take out Goldeen. Like I said, if I was DD, I'd DD there and win the game. But he goes for the Iron Head. I live that, but I'm not able to survive my Life Orb recoil, and we lose the game. So I do pick up my first loss this LPL season, which is unfortunate. I want to... the Power Whip miss was definitely annoying. It made me lose my Frillish when I didn't want to, obviously. And then not to crit was annoying, but not ultimately that consequential. That said, I still even had a shot at the end there. So I'm gonna chalk this one up to a loss in prep. Not running SD over DD really is just not a good idea with the state of the meta, and I got punished for it, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. But good game to KSG. It's not looking good for my team for playoffs, but hopefully heading into the last week, we lost this week unfortunately with my loss. I could have pulled the tie, but it wasn't meant to be. So I don't think we're going to be able to qualify for playoffs, but next week we can go play against Scrubs. We can pick up another win hopefully, and I can at least take home the best LC UU player award, hopefully, at least. Anyway, if you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the like button, share your thoughts, comments, or whatever, or don't. It's really up to you. But anyway, I will see you next time. Bye bye.